Okay, what's another word for it that most of you guys know it as? Shauna. A cocoon. It's a cocoon, okay? This is a cocoon. This is a cocoon, okay? So who creates a cocoon? A caterpillar, okay? So a caterpillar spins a cocoon around itself and it remains there for a period of time. So when the cocoon breaks, okay, does the caterpillar come out?
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right? When the cocoon breaks, and here's the part, a caterpillar doesn't come out, but what instead comes out? A butterfly. At that time, guys, at that time, instead of a caterpillar coming out of it, the caterpillar becomes a butterfly, okay? So, could you guys see that happening though?
No.
No, okay? We couldn't see that happening. We couldn't see a caterpillar changing into a butterfly. That is a hidden work of God. That is a hidden work of God. So even though we cannot see Him working, God is always working, okay? He is working at changing a caterpillar into a butterfly, okay? So oftentimes God's works are hidden. God's works are hidden. No side talking, girls. God's works are hidden. Just like how God's work in transforming the caterpillar into a butterfly, that is hidden. But even though we do not see it, we must have faith that God is still working. All right? Can we go to the next one? Okay. So, God has promised Abraham and Isaac and Jacob a great nation. Okay? What is this promise that He has made with them is that He will make them into a great nation. And at the time of Joseph, okay, Jacob's son, at the time of Joseph, 70 of his family members settled in Egypt. All right? They settled in Egypt. And the Hebrews, that's what they're called, the Hebrews grew to about 3 million people. Do you guys know 3 million people? No. Okay, guys? So this family grew to be about 3 million people while they were in Egypt. But they were no longer free men. Instead, what they were slaves. All right? They were slaves. Does this sound like a great nation to you? But what has God promised them? God promised them that He will make them into a great nation. There were a lot of people, but there were slaves, okay? Pharaoh, who is the ruler of Egypt, forced the Hebrews to build great cities for Egypt, okay? However, this is what happened. Can someone read me? Exodus 1:22. Stella?
Then Pharaoh gave this order to all of his people. Every boy that is born, you must throw into the Nile. But let every girl live.
My typo, I'm sorry. But let every girl live. Okay, where did they have to throw the boys in? In the Nile, which is what? It's a school? The Nile is it's a river, okay? The Nile is a river, okay? So Pharaoh demanded all the sons to be thrown into the Nile, all right? Into the Nile River, and only to keep the girls. Let's do this. I have here a timeline, so today you're going to have to follow this timeline with me, okay? So, this is the Nile. You guys like my rivers? That is the Nile.
That looks like a waterfall going over a donkey and drowning it.
No criticism.
I think it's a beautiful thing.
So Pharaoh demands all the boys to go into the Nile. Has God forgotten His promise with Abraham and his children? No. Go to the next one you need. All right? Does God ever forget His promises?
No.
Does God keep His promises? Yes. God always keeps His promises. He never forgets His promise. But right right now, Pharaoh is demanding all the boys to be thrown into the river. So what in the world is going on? What's going on? So after crying out to God for deliverance, hands down please, not right now. After crying out to God for deliverance from slavery, this is what happened. So they cried out to God.
That is what happens.
You guys like my tear?
No.
Yeah. Draw person. Just my.
Okay? So they cried out to God for deliverance to be out of slavery from Egypt. All right? This is what happens. Can someone read me Exodus 5:6?
Hebrews what?
Next one, please. Sorry.
Hebrews.
Kira.
Yes. That same day, Pharaoh gave his order to the slave drivers and foremen in charge of the people. Sorry.
In charge of the people. Can someone read me 5:7? The next one, Yumi. Kayla.
You are no longer to supply the people with the flour for making bread. Let them go and gather their own flour.
Very good. Can someone read me Exodus 5:8, Justin?
But require them to make the same number of bricks as before. Don't reduce the quota. They are lazy. That is why they are crying out. Let us go and sacrifice to our God.
Very good. Can I have the last one, Exodus 5:9? Naomi, can you read 5:9 for us?
Make the work harder for the men so that they keep working and they know they should do that.
Okay, so what is Pharaoh demanding to happen now? First of all, he has all the boys be thrown into the river, okay? And now what is Pharaoh demanding then? They're already slaves, but on top of being slaves, they have them do something else, which is even more work. A lot more tiresome. It's a really, really, really hard work. Jean, what is it?
They have to make their own bricks and gather their own stuff.
Okay, very good. So they have to gather their own sticks. They have to make their own bricks. All right, this is sticks. Okay, you guys. If you guys don't know what this is, sticks. All right. So they have to gather their own sticks. Does this sound like God is working for His people? It doesn't really, right? Right now, we're just like, we can be at a time of like, where is God? I thought God was faithful to His promises. I thought God is here and He's helping us and He's going to deliver us from slavery. He's going to take care of us, okay? How do you think they have felt? Can you give this one, please? How do you think they felt at this moment right now? Gina? They probably felt sad. They probably felt hopeless. Okay? Oh, who said that?
Then what?
Betrayed?
Oh, Anna, you said it?
No, he said it.
Oh, David, what do you think they felt? They probably felt betrayed. They probably felt like, where is God? I thought God was for me. I thought God was here to help me, okay? So they probably felt betrayed. What else, you guys?
Angry.
Probably very, very angry. Yes, Kira.
Probably, they're probably tired of doing all the work.
Probably very tired of doing all the work, right? Upset, Chloe.
Maybe they're like,
Boys.
very angry at God.
They're probably very angry at God. Some were probably very angry at God. Okay, you guys? So, even though, I want you guys to know this, even though we don't see God working, I want you guys to understand that God's providential hand, remember providence, God's providential hand is always, always working, even though we do not see it. This is why we call this hidden providence. Hidden providence. Yes, Ola? Yes, you may. Yes, you may. Okay. So during this time, even though we don't know it, God is still working. God is still working. Can you guys guess what this next thing I'm going to draw? I'm not a good artist, as you guys know.
I'm a good artist.
It's not a good marker.
What do you think that is?
What?
Oh, this big sign.
What? I
Rocks.
Is it a fish?
Sun?
It's a cloud.
Angel?
No, they're rings. Okay.
Yeah.
They're rings, all right?
And
They're rings, okay?
like, people, I don't want
So during this time, time, something happens, all right? Even in God's providence, in God's hidden providence, they are crying out to God, and they're not understanding why this is all happening. But God is still working, okay? God is still working. Can we go to the next one, please? Let's see what happens. Can someone read me Exodus 2, 1 through 2? June.
Now a man of the house of
Levi.
married a Levite woman, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. When she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months.
Very, very good. So, a Levi, okay, a man in the house of Levi married a Levi woman, and she became pregnant. So they got married, and she became pregnant, okay? She became pregnant. Who here knows who the baby was? Who's the baby's name? What's the baby's name? Moses, okay? This is Moses, all right? God was raising up Moses to deliver the Hebrews, to deliver Hebrew out of Egypt so that they could be away from slavery, okay? Even though the Hebrews did not know it, even though they did not know God's hidden providence, that God was still working, all right? We have to remain faithful that God is still working, even though we may not see it. But this is God's hidden providence of raising up Moses to do something amazing. Can we have, I need a couple of strong readers for the next couple of verses, okay? Can we go to the next one, please? All right? Next one? Okay, next one. Can someone read me verse number 4? I mean 2. What? 4? Can someone read me number 2? Colin.
She became pregnant and gave birth to a son. When she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months.
For 3 months, very good. Can someone read me verse number 3? Yumi.
But when she could have him no longer, she got a papyrus basket for him and coated it with the tar and pitch. Then she placed the child in it and put it among the reeds along the bank of the mountain.
Very good. Number 4. Number 4. Ellie, you want to read?
His sister stood at the distance to see what would happen.
Very, very good. Number 5. Number 5. David.
Then Pharaoh's daughter went down to the Nile to bath, and her attendants were walking along the river. When she saw the basket among the reeds and sent her slave girls to get it.
Very good. So number 6. So what's going on in the story? What's going on in the story?
I don't know.
Caleb, you want to read it? Number 6? Okay.
He opened it and saw the baby. He was climbed in, he went climbed with him. This is one of the Hebrew babies, he said.
Very good. This is one of the Hebrew babies, all right? Number 7, Kira.
Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?
Okay. Can we go up, Yumi? Very, very good. Number 8, Justin.
Yes, girls answered, and the girl but the baby's mother.
Very good. Number 9, June.
Pharaoh's daughter said to her, take this baby and nurse him for me, and I will pay you. So the woman took the baby and nursed him.
Very good. And last one, Anna.
When the child grew older, she took him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, saying, I drew him out of the water.
Okay. So who here knows this story? Who here knows the whole entire story? Who here watched Prince of Egypt? Okay. Hands down, hands down, hands down. All right, you guys. So, whoever is happy, please stop. Okay? Okay. I want you guys to know all throughout here, in this one big passage, okay? Can we go back like maybe 4 times you need? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Go. Whoa, sorry. Okay. All throughout here, we see God's providence. Can you guys point to me what parts of the verse where we see God's providence in? How was God working? Were these just coincidence? Is there such a coincidence in God's kingdom?
No.
No. If God's a sovereign God, which means what? Okay? When I say that God is sovereign, what does that mean? June?
It means that God knows, and He knows what's going to happen, and He has control over it.
Okay, that God has control over all things, right? God ordains all things to happen. Okay? God is a sovereign God. So all these situations that have happened, all the verses that you guys read, are these just coincidence? Was the baby just there and that, at that moment, Pharaoh's daughter sees the baby? Are these just coincidences? No, okay? So can you guys point to me? I have a couple of things that I want to know, if you guys understand. Some things that have happened in these verses, you guys can point to me God's providence in them. I want you guys to really think about it, okay? Kira.
One is when the Pharaoh's daughter got someone to nurse him. That was pretty lucky because the Pharaoh wanted all the baby boys to be thrown in the Nile.
Uh-huh.
But he was very lucky to get someone to nurse him.
Okay, who was actually the person that nursed him? His own mother, okay? It was actually his own mother that was able to nurse him, all right? Is that just a coincidence? No, that is God's providence over them, okay? That is God's hand working over them, all right? God was in control the whole time. Can you imagine a mother who had to let go of her child, all right? Who had to let go of her child. She was probably so sad. And the fact that she knew that if she did not let go of her child, then he would eventually die, that someone would find him and eventually die and kill him, all right? But the fact that she got to be reunited again with her child again, and that she was able to nurse her child, all right? That is God's providence, okay? Can somebody else show me another one? Yes, Anna.
That the Pharaoh's daughter didn't kill him.
Okay, so God's providence is even over man's heart, right? So God used Pharaoh's daughter. He was over her heart. He was in control of her heart. So that instead of her being like, look at this Hebrew baby, I'm going to kill it just because my dad told us to kill all the Hebrew boys. Instead, she became very compassionate and very loving to the baby, and she wanted to take care of him. Very good. So God has providence over man's heart. Another one? June?
God let the basket go to the princess.
Very, very good, right? So it's not that the basket was like the waves were just hitting this way and that way, but God instructed the waves to go a certain way at a certain time so that the Pharaoh and that Pharaoh's daughter and the baby can meet. Awesome, very good. Yes, Anna.
The woman thought that her child was fine, so at least she didn't follow the rules, and she didn't kill her baby.
Okay, that's very good. So she trusted in God. She trusted in God, and instead of killing her baby, God was over her own heart too, right? To instruct and to really and to put her baby in a papyrus basket, and that papyrus basket can go along the river. Anyone else?
Besides,
Sheehan?
God let Moses' sister to watch him while he was in the basket.
Very good.
She heard the princess, and that's how Moses' mother got to meet again.
That's it. That's very, very good. So God was even with his sister's heart, right? To instruct, to stay with the baby, to watch the baby go, and to also even boys, cut it out. and to even instruct, and even to tell the Pharaoh's daughter, saying, hey, should I go get a Hebrew woman to nurse the child, okay? And then she goes to go tell her mom, saying, you found the baby, you have to go nurse Moses, all right? So God gave Moses' mother the idea, okay? God gave Moses' mother the idea to make a papyrus basket and to put him in the Nile, and the idea for the sister to watch from the bank. Okay, this is God's providence over a man's way, God's providence over a man's heart. God brought Pharaoh's daughter along at just the right time. So God's timing is perfect. God is sovereign. He provides, okay? God's providence over time. And caused her to see the basket. God's providence over circumstances. So God put in Pharaoh's daughter's heart to get the basket and gave her compassion when she saw the baby. So this is God's providence over a man's heart again, all right? And God put it in the sister's heart and mind to offer to find a nurse for the Pharaoh's daughter to accept the offer. And God arranged for the very mother of Moses to nurse him. All right, you guys? So God raised up Moses. Can we go to the next one, please? Oh, sorry, next. So God raised up Moses, okay, to deliver the Hebrew people, all right? So when this was happening, of this whole situation of the baby, okay, and when Pharaoh instructed them to collect their own hay and to build their own bricks, did they know that this was happening? No, they didn't. Did they know that this is how God was going to provide for them? No. This is God's way of having hidden providence, okay? And I want you guys to understand that about yourselves. There are times in your lives when things may be hard, just like it was hard for the Hebrew people. But I want you guys to know and trust God that even though you may not see what God is doing, even though you may be confused about what God is doing now, know that God's providence is over us, His eye and His hand is with us, and that He is working in us. That is His hidden providence. And He may not reveal it to us until maybe later. Maybe He only will reveal it to us in heaven. Who knows? But there are times when God will work and He will be hidden in His work. But I want you guys to trust in Him with that. Okay, what's next one, please? Okay? So God is doing all kinds of hidden work. Okay? God is at work even when we don't see His work. Can you guys trust in that?
Yes.
Yes? Can you guys understand that? So when you guys are having a hard time, when things aren't going your way, can you guys trust that God is still working? Yes. Okay? Just like how God was working for the Hebrew people by raising up Moses, okay? By raising up Moses to deliver him so that he could deliver his people out of Egypt. All right? Okay, guys, let's do this. Can we turn off the recording? Let's pray.